All right, let's get started on our mats. We'll be more or less in the middle in a kneeling position if that's available to you. You can also slide a block underneath those hips, get up a little bit higher, or start out nice and high if that feels better on your knees. And I'm going to ask you to tuck your toes underneath you. Make sure you give those pinky toes a little bit of assistance if you need to. Roll those shoulders down and back. Find some length through the crown of your head. Maybe close your eyes or soften your gaze and take a deep breath in here. Just letting your belly expand in all directions, allowing your ribs to spread away from one another as your diaphragm moves down, making space for your lungs to expand. And as you exhale, release, allowing everything to soften, coming back towards that center line. Let's take another deep breath in, finding that full expansion. And release. And once more, deep breath in. And release. Let it all go. Let's add in some movement. So breath in, we're going to shift our hips forward, reach our arms up. You can bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, cactus through those arms, run through your collarbones, follow that circle all the way around as you hinge at your hips, sending them back down toward your heels. And then hips come straight up as your arms circle back, up and over. Breath in. Breath out as you cactus. Extend them out in front, hinge at your hips, arms parallel to the floor. And once more, take a breath in, lift it up. Cactus through those arms, find that arch through your back. Sit your hips back, arms out in front, and lift your hips back up. Arms come up. This time, as we exhale, arms are going to come directly out in front of us. Thumbs up, shoulders back and down. Let's take a breath in. Follow those left fingertips with your eyes as you circle overhead and then reach back behind you. Let's arc our arm back overhead and bring it back out in front, and do the same thing on the right. Take a breath in, circle it over, reach it back, and follow that circle around and back towards center. Nice. We're going to do it on our left once again. Big reach, fingertip to fingertip, and then bring that arm back up and over and out in front, and follow with the right. Opening up, reaching nice and long like a T, and then circling back over and in front. This time we're going to open up through the left and stay here. So keep reaching through those left fingertips. Your right fingertips are going to come toward your left shoulder, and just like we're pulling the string of a bow and arrow, we're going to drive that right elbow out in front and maybe slightly behind us. So our shoulder blades are squeezing towards one another. Your chest is shifting forward. Take a breath in here, and as you exhale, you're going to keep that elbow driving back. Circle your left arm overhead as you hinge through those hips. There's going to come a point where you feel like squaring off to the floor. Let it happen. Right elbow keeps driving towards the ceiling. Left hand grounds down on your mat. We're going to shift forward, so we're in a three-point or three-legged tabletop. We're going to drive our right fingertips up towards the ceiling. You can also bring them out to the side if that feels better. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, circle that arm overhead, big reach. Sit your hips back toward your heels and glide those fingertips into your knees. Roll those shoulders down and back, and we're back in our kneeling position. Gonna shift our hips forward, arms rise up and over. Take a breath in. With your breath out, cactus. Follow that circle around, hinge through those hips, sit it down, circle back up and over. And as you exhale, arms come out in front, parallel to the floor. We're going to start with our right arm this time. So take a breath in, follow those fingertips with your gaze, reach it long, fingertip to fingertip. Let's center ourselves back off, coming back through center, and open up through the left. Let's close it back off, big reach overhead. And this time as we open through the right, we're going to stay. So gaze is back behind us. Left fingertips are going to come toward our right shoulder. So find that reach and that pull. So So shoulder blades coming toward one another. Keep reaching through those fingertips. And then big circle overhead with your right arm as your right hip sits back toward your right heel. Let your body square off. Right hand comes down on the ground. Shift your weight forward, drive that elbow up. Maybe extend your arm up towards the ceiling. Keep shifting your weight forward into those fingertips. Big circle overhead with your left fingers. And then send your hips back toward your heels, coming back into our kneeling position. Very nice. Let's inhale, arms come up and overhead. Exhale, cactus through those arms. And this time, let your hands come down to the ground. Rock back so that your knees come up off of your mat. Your heels are driving down towards the floor. Chin can come in towards your chest. You can really round through your back, creating lots of space through those shoulder blades. With your breath in, let your knees come down. Send your hips up, reach your arms up. And breath out, cactus through those arms. Let your fingertips come down, out in front or next to your knees. Shift your hips back, lift your knees up, round through your back, chin in toward your chest. And one more time, knees down, hips up, arms rise. And exhale, cactus, hands down. Rock it back, lifting those knees up. We're gonna stay here this time. Maybe walk your hands in a little bit closer toward your toes, and then begin to straighten your legs. So my heels are going to keep driving down towards the floor as I begin to straighten, crown of my head dangling down towards my mat. With your breath in, put a bend through those knees once again. You can let your heels come up and gaze can come out in front. And breath out, let's start to straighten. Crown of the head down towards the floor. Let's go ahead and bend once again. Let your hips come down, heels come up. And last time, straighten through those legs, finding your forward fold. You can keep a soft bend in your knees, and then think about your belly coming towards the tops of your thighs. On your breath in, let's lift up halfway. So I like to kind of round through my back and let it unravel. Shoulder blades coming toward one another and crown of the head coming long. My gaze is staying still down towards the floor, maybe towards the top of my mat. We're basically in an L shape, so we're working the muscles of our back here. Let's exhale, fold it forward, soft bend through those knees, and breath in, roll up into your halfway lift, shoulders roll back, gaze comes forward, length through the crown of the head. Exhale and fold. And one more time. Inhale, find that roll up, halfway. And exhale, fold it forward. This time, let's put a generous bend through our knees. Keep your fingertips reaching towards the floor as you unravel all the way up to standing. Roll your shoulders back. Head is the last thing to come up. Let's bring those arms up and overhead. Take a breath in here. Have the option to come up on those tippy toes if you would like. And as you exhale, heels come down, cactus through those arms. Send them out in front of you as you hinge at your hips, sending your arms out in front. And exhale, fold it forward. Nice. Let's inhale, bend through those knees. Same thing. We're rolling on up, shoulders roll down and back. Crown of the head's last thing to come up. Come up on those tippy toes if you'd like. Exhale, cactus through those arms, heels come down, hinge at your hips, circle your arms out in front of you, send those hips back, and find your fold forward, really lengthening through our back line here. Again, bend through those knees, roll up to standing, shoulders roll down, head comes up, arms rise, tippy toes if you'd like. Exhale, cactus through those arms, broaden through your collarbones, circle around, arms out in front, hinge. And fold it forward. Nice. This time as we inhale and roll up, we're going to stay. Arms are going to reach up and overhead. And as you exhale, arms come out in front of you, parallel to the floor. I want you to notice what's happening in your ribs here. If they're flared, I want you to draw them in. Notice what's happening in your tailbone. If it's kicking far back behind you, if you've got this big curve in your low back, I want you to back off a little bit. Point your tailbone down to the floor. Should feel some length on the front side of your hips right there. So core is engaged, okay? So same thing that we did in our kneeling position. Let's inhale, left arm reaches up and over and then comes back behind us. Lots of length, fingertip to fingertip. Let's bring it back on overhead and back out in front. And right side, inhale, reach it up and over. Big long line and square it back off. go to the left once more, breath in and open. We're gonna stay, breath out, right fingertips to your left shoulder. Find your reach, find your pull. Put a bend through your right knee this time, and big circle overhead as you hinge those hips, rounding through your back. Let your body square off when it feels ready, okay? And then put a bend in your opposite knee. So I straightened out through my right, bent through my left. Fingertips come down to the ground, right heel's driving down to the floor, right elbow toward the ceiling, and then if you can, extend your right fingertips up overhead. Let's take a breath in here, and with your breath out, big reach overhead as we close everything back off, so we're squaring back towards the floor. Both of my legs are going to straighten out, fingertips down, and I'm back in my forward fold. Let's bend through those knees. Inhale, rise up to standing, arms rise. And exhale, arms come parallel to the floor. Find that neutral space in your body, low ribs drawn in, tailbone pointing down, okay? Let's inhale, open up through the right this time. Right fingertips back behind us, and exhale, close it off. Inhale, open up through the left, and exhale to close. This time we're staying on the right. So right fingertips come back behind us, left fingertips to our right shoulder. Find our reach and our pull, and put a bend through your left knee, okay? So we're gonna keep reaching, we're gonna keep pulling, and big circle overhead with those right fingertips. Really lengthen through that right side body. When that close off happens, let the bend in your knees switch. So right knee bends, left leg straightens, right fingertips down to the ground, drive your left elbow up, extend your left arm, take a breath in, drive that left heel down to the floor. And then as you exhale, big circle overhead with that left arm, square yourself off and find your forward fold. Let's inhale, rise up halfway this time. And exhale, fold it forward. We're gonna put a bend in our knees, walk our hands out towards the top of our mat. I'm in kind of a really high bear pose. So what I'm gonna do is take a step back with my feet, shift forward, come through a plank for just a moment. If you have a Vinyasa practice, you wanna take a Vinyasa Chaturanga, go ahead, be my guest. Otherwise, this nice strong plank for a moment. And then with your exhale, send your hips high, finding a downward facing dog. If you want to pedal out your legs, bending one knee and then the other, you're welcome to do so. I like to kind of shimmy my hips or figure eight them side to side and let everything come along for the ride. You can also pulse your heels down towards the ground. It's your practice. You do what feels right to you. So take another moment or two, explore that shape for yourself. And then we're going to come back through our neutral downward facing dog. So let's step our feet in towards one another, strong press away of the floor, take a breath in, right heel's gonna lift, and as you exhale, bend that knee, draw it in toward your chest as you shift forward through your plank position. You have to really press the floor away to create lots of space for your foot to step forward and replace your right thumb. When that happens, we're gonna put a bend through our left knee. You can untuck your toes if you would like, and inhale, arms rise up. Anjaneyasana low lunge. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, arms come parallel to the floor. On your breath in, we're going to follow those left fingertips with our eyes as we circle them up and over. And our left leg is going to windshield wipe open. So our hips are opening up to the side. So we're in a grounded warrior two here. I like to turn my palms up towards the ceiling. You can also have them turn down towards the floor. You do you. Try it out, see what you like. So take a breath in, reach long, fingertip to fingertip. And as you exhale, right fingertips come over toward our left shoulder. Find that pull, find that push, and then big circle overhead as your right elbow comes down to meet your right thigh. Your left fingertips are reaching up towards the ceiling. Maybe you bring your right fingertips down to the ground, and then see if you can circle your left arm overhead, following fingertips with the gaze. It's gonna come a point where we can't reach anymore without squaring off. So you've gotta lift that back foot up, square yourself back off into that low lunge. Left hand's gonna come down. I'm gonna send my right arm out in front. I'm gonna tuck those left toes, lift my left knee, and then step forward as I bring my right arm in, finding a forward fold at the top of my mat. Let's inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold it forward. And inhale, rise up to standing. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, cactus those arms, send them out in front, hinge at those hips, finding that halfway lift, and then fold it forward. Let's plant those hands, step back, find your plank, strong press away of the floor. You can always have your knees down if you need to, and then send your hips high, downward facing dog. Step those feet in towards one another. Let's lift our left heel up, bend that knee, draw it in towards your nose as you shift forward through your plank. Strong press, and replace your left thumb with your left foot. Let your right knee come down. You can untuck those toes if you'd like. And breath in, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Breath out, arms parallel to the floor. And with our breath in, we're opening up to the right for our grounded warrior two. So I'm going to big circle overhead with that right arm. I'm going to windshield wipe through that right leg to open my hip. And I'm reaching long fingertip to fingertip. Going to take our left hand, bring it over to our right shoulder. Find your reach, find your pull, and then big circle overhead until my left elbow meets my left thigh. Maybe I'm going to let my fingertips come down to the floor. I'm going to really reach my right fingertips up towards the ceiling, creating lots of length in between my rib and my hip on the right side. Let's take one more breath in here, and then we're going to close it off. So right fingertips reach overhead. You're going to have to windshield wipe through that bottom leg. So coming back from whence you came, right hand finds the floor, left arm extends out in front. My weight's going to shift forward. Tuck through your right toe, lift through that right knee, and then step up, finding your forward fold. Nice. Let's inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, rise to standing. Exhale, cactus. Send those arms out in front. Hinge at your hips and fold it forward. Plant those hands. Step back, find your plank. Breath in there, strong press, and exhale, send those hips high. We're going to do the same thing, but smooth it out a little bit. So step those feet together. Breath in through your right leg, and step it forward, replacing that thumb. Let your left knee come down, and arms rise up. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Breath out, arms parallel to the floor. And take a breath in, left arm circles, windshield wipe through that left leg. Reach, fingertip, fingertip. And then right hand to your left shoulder, push and pull, and come through your grounded side angle here. So hand can come down to the floor if it's available. You can also stay up like this. Fingertips reaching up toward the ceiling, lots of space between our rib and our hip on the left. Take another breath in, and exhale, circle overhead, square your hips back off. Left fingertips find the floor, right fingertips reach, shift forward, lift the knee, and step up, forward fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, cactus, arms out in front, and fold it forward. Inhale, lift halfway, and exhale, plant those hands, step it back, plank, breath in to stay, and breath out, hips high. Step the feet together, lift that left leg, and step it forward, replacing the thumb on the left side. Right knee down, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Arms come out in front, parallel to the floor, and then grounded warrior two. Right arm circles, right hip opens, right leg windshield wipes. Left fingertips to your right shoulder, push and pull. Left elbow finds your left thigh. Right fingertips reach up towards the ceiling, maybe left fingertips to the floor. Follow that big circle around with the right hand, squaring off our hips, switching the fingers that are on the floor. Right hand down, left arm out in front, tuck, lift, shift, and step up, forward fold at the top. Breath in, rise up standing. And breath out, we're going to bring our arms parallel this time. Take a breath in, left arm opens. And breath out, find your push and your pull. Bend through your right knee and circle that left arm overhead. Square yourself off, bend through the left. Left hand finds the floor, right arm reaches, and then circle your right fingertips overhead. Find your forward fold. Nice. Breath in, lift up halfway, and breath out, plant those hands, step back, find your plank. Nice. Breath in, strong press, and breath out, hips high, downward facing dog. Step your feet in towards one another. We're gonna move on. Right heel lifts, knee in towards our chest. Step up, replace, left knee down. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Arms parallel. Left arm opens, grounded warrior two. Hand finds the shoulder, push and pull. Little side angle here. Gonna keep that arm reaching overhead as we square off. Left hand finds the floor. Reach, tuck, lift, and shift, forward fold. Inhale, rise up to standing, arms come up. Exhale, arms come parallel. Inhale, open up with the right. Exhale, bend your left knee, left hand, right shoulder, push, pull, big sweep overhead, square off, switch the bend in your legs, left arm reaches up, and extend it overhead, find that fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, and exhale, plant the hands, step back, find your plank for a moment, strong breath in, and exhale, downward facing. Step the feet together, left heel rises, send it forward, replacing the thumb. Right knee down, arms rise, low lunge. Arms parallel to the floor, and grounded warrior two. Open it up to the side. Find that reach, find your pull with your left arm. Elbow finds the inner thigh, maybe fingertips down. Keep that circle going with your right arm. Square yourself back out, send your left arm forward, tuck, lift, shift, and step, forward fold. Let's inhale, rise all the way up to standing. This time exhale, cactus through those arms. Follow the circle around, hinge at those hips, and fold it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, plant your hands, step it back. You're gonna take things a little higher this time. Send your hips high, step the feet together. Right heel's gonna lift and step it forward to replace the right thumb, but this time keep your left knee up, okay? Take a breath in. Find your balance, arms rise, nice. Arms come parallel to the floor. Follow those left fingertips as you inhale, open up. Your left heel's gonna come down, and we are in a warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Right hand comes to your left shoulder, find that reach, find that pull, and side angle. So elbow finds the thigh, maybe fingertips find the floor. Keep that circle going around. It's gonna come a point where you have to square off. So we're gonna come back onto the ball of our back foot. Left hand comes down, right arm reaches. Shift your weight forward and step up, forward fold. Let's inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, arms come parallel. Inhale, left arm opens up. Bend through your right knee. Push and pull, big circle around with your left arm. Let it find the floor, switch the bend, right arm reaches, and bring that arm down, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, and exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank, knees up or down, and then send your hips high, downward facing dog. Step the feet in toward one another. Let's inhale, lift our left heel up this time, and exhale, step it forward, replacing the thumb. We're gonna keep that right knee up. Really scissor your inner thighs together. Get your base nice and strong first. You can always have a bend through your back leg, so you're more in like an athletic lunge than this real long yoga lunge. So take a breath in, arms rise up. And with your breath out, arms come parallel. Breath in, windmill open. As you do so, you gotta pivot on the back foot and let the heel come down. We're in a warrior two. So try to align your shoulders over your hips. Big long reach, fingertip to fingertip. Keep reaching with your right hand. Your left hand comes over to your right shoulder. Find your push, find your pull, and find that side angle. Maybe your hand comes down to the floor. I need a wider base for that. And then we're gonna let our right fingertips come out in front. Gonna come down to the floor, pivot on those back toes, send your left arm forward, press off the ball of the back foot, and step up, forward fold. Let's inhale, rise up to standing. Arms reach up and over, and exhale, parallel to the floor. Inhale, right arm opens up. Exhale, bend through your left knee. Find your push, your pull, and circle that right arm overhead. Switch to the bend, left fingertips reach up, and bring them out in front, fold it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, and exhale, hands come down. We're gonna add on this time, so let's step back into our plank and send our hips high, downward facing dog. Step your feet in toward one another. Right heel's gonna lift. Knee comes in toward our chest and replaces the thumb. Keep that back knee up, scissor the inner thighs, get that base nice and solid first, and then bring your arms up and over. Let's exhale, arms come parallel to the floor, and inhale, warrior two. So big circle, heel down to the floor. Right hand to that left shoulder, reach, pull, and find your side angle. Maybe your fingertips come down on the right side. Keep that circle going through your left arm. Pivot on your back toes. Left fingertips down, right fingertips reach. This time as we shift forward, we're going to see if we can bring our left knee in toward our chest and come up to standing. It's okay if you tap the toe down or if you need to come out. Get it as high as you can. You can also kickstand on your toes. This is fine, okay? Take a breath in, and with your breath out, arms come parallel to the floor. Gonna keep our eyes on our left hand. Let's inhale, open it up. So we're in a twist, nice. So you exhale, right hand, left shoulder. Find your push, find your pull. So as we take this big sweep overhead, we're sending our left leg out behind us. We are squaring off through our body here. Slow motion makes this a lot harder. So if I fumble out, don't mind me. Fingertips can come down to the floor. Keep those left toes active. Really press away with your right leg. Don't dump into that hip. And then send your right arm either out to the side or up to the ceiling. Nice. Gazing at the floor is going to help with your balance. Out to the side or up. It's a little more challenging. So take a breath in here. And as you exhale, we're going to close everything off. So our right arm's going to reach overhead. Okay. We're bending through both of our legs. Left knee comes behind our right shin. Maybe your left hand comes in towards center. Beautiful. We're going to let our hands come down to the floor. Softly let that left knee come down. Okay. Plant your hands. Step your right leg back behind you. And then send your left heel up toward the ceiling. We're set up for the opposite side. Knee comes in toward our chest. Step forward, replacing the thumb. Get that base. Scissor the inner thighs. Think about scrunching your mat up in between your legs, nice and strong. Breath in to rise. Breath out and arms parallel. Breath in, warrior two. Heel down, pivot open through those hips. Breath out, we're gonna reach, we're gonna pull. Okay, big circle sweep overhead. Maybe left fingertips find the floor. Keep reaching, get nice and long. Pivot on the back foot, switch your hands. Shift forward, our right knee is gonna come in toward our chest, and we're gonna see if we can come right up to standing. I'm shaking. This is hard stuff. Challenging stuff, it's good. So knee comes up, arms rise, nice and tall, and then bring your arms out in front here. Left arm stays where it is. Right arm's gonna circle over. Gaze can follow your fingertips. Breath in here, long as you can, and breath out. Left arm, left fingertips to your right shoulder. Woo! To your right shoulder. We're gonna push, we're gonna pull. So extend that right leg back behind you. Reach through the right arm, and then let those fingertips come to the floor. Left arm out to the side or up to the ceiling. Okay, same thing with your balance here. You don't have to be all the way to the floor. You can come to a block. You can tap the back toes down if you need to. Make sure that you're stable wherever you are, okay? We want it to be strong and work for us. Back leg doesn't have to be so high, but keep the toes active. Let's take a breath in. And as you exhale, reach that left arm overhead, close everything off toward our center line. Maybe find your balance, bringing your right hand into the left for just a moment, and then soft tap down with our right leg. Hands can come down onto the mat. We're gonna step our left leg back behind us. So we're in this plank setup. Left toes stay tucked, and send your right heel high. I'm gonna do this a few more times, side to side, now that we know where we're going. So knee comes in toward our chest, replace the thumb. Low lunge, high lunge, high lunge, arms rise. Exhale, arms come parallel to the floor. Inhale, warrior two, windmill open. And exhale, push and pull. Coming through an extended side angle, so really smooth it out this time. Squaring off, pivoting on the back foot, reaching, shifting, and bringing everything in towards center. Rise up at the top of the mat. Breath in. And breath out, arms parallel. Breath in, windmill open to the left. And breath out, push and pull. We're going to come through that revolved dancer pose, okay? So left fingertips down to the floor, left leg extends, right arm out to the side or up toward the ceiling. Let your right arm sweep overhead and then close everything off, knee in toward the calf, hands maybe come together. We're going to lower that left shin down onto the floor, hands can come down to support you, right leg comes back, lift and send your left heel up toward the ceiling. Knee comes in toward our chest, step forward, high lunge here, find that base, arms rise. Arms come parallel to the floor and windmill open, heel comes down. Push and pull, fingertips to the shoulder, big circle sweep overhead with the right arm, square off, pivot on the back foot, extend, shift, and bring everything in towards center. Knee comes up toward our chest as we rise up through our standing leg. Arms parallel to the floor, and inhale, open with the right. Exhale, find your push, find your pull, coming into our revolved dancer pose. Right fingertips down, send your right leg back. Left fingertips up, press the ground away, big sweep overhead. With that left arm, get as long as you can and then bring everything in towards center line. See how low to the ground you can get. Use your hands if you need them. Hands are gonna come down, send your left leg back and right heel lifts up toward the ceiling. Nice, one more time each side. Knee in toward our chest, replace the thumb. Breath in to rise and breath out, arms parallel. Breath in, windmill open, and breath out, push and pull. Fingertips find the floor, big sweep overhead, pivot, reach, and bring the knee in toward our chest as we rise up. Arms parallel to the floor, and breath in, left arm goes behind. Breath out, right hand to the left shoulder, find that push, find that pull, and then fingertips find the ground, left leg extends, right arm reaches. Circle the arm overhead, get as long as possible, and then bring everything in towards center line. Maybe hand comes up, let your left shin find the floor, hands come down, send your right leg back, left heel lifts towards the ceiling. Replace the thumb, stepping forward, high lunge, arms rise. Arms parallel to the floor. Breath in, open everything up, and breath out, push, pull. Coming through that extended side angle, following the circle around, pivoting, reaching, and drawing everything in towards center. Arms rise, and arms come parallel. Inhale, open with the right. Exhale, push and pull. Find that revolved half moon, fingertips find the floor, leg extends, opposite fingertips overhead. Reach long and then close everything off. Controlled lower to the ground if you can, hands down. Top leg goes back and send those hips high. We're gonna do it one more time, smooth as we can. Exhale, right knee steps forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, warrior two. Hand to the shoulder and extended side angle. Really smooth transition here, squaring forward, switching arms, shifting, knee to the chest, and lift. Arms parallel to the floor. Breath in to open, left arm reaches. Breath out, push and pull. Revolved half moon, fingertips find the floor. Nice long reach, right arm comes overhead, and then close everything off. Shin finds the floor, hands come down, right leg steps, and left heel goes high. Breath in, breath out, knee steps forward. Breath in and rise. Breath out, arms parallel. Breath in, warrior two. Breath out, push and pull. Reach that arm over. Let the fingertips find the floor. Square, knee comes in. Rise on up. Breath out, arms parallel. Breath in, open up for your twist. And breath out, hand finds the shoulder. Sweep arm overhead, revolved half moon. Reach long as you can. Extend your left arm overhead. Close everything off. Slow and controlled. How low can you go? Let the shin find the floor. Hands come down. Step the leg back. Send your right heel high. Take a breath in. And with your breath out, let those toes find the floor directly next to our left foot. And we're going to take 3 breaths here. It's nice and strong. Press away of the floor, heels driving down to the ground. Create lots of space in between your ribs as you allow your lungs to expand in all directions. And exhale to release, maybe driving your heels closer to the ground. Breath in, really find that expansion along your side body. Again, ribs spreading away from one another. And breath out, heels driving down. And once more, breath in. Allow the back of your rib cage to expand. Imagine you're just breathing into your back. And breath out, heels driving down to the floor. Very nice. On your next breath in, lift up high on the balls of your feet, bend your knees, let them come to the mat, untuck your toes, and send your hips toward your heels for a child's pose. If you want to rock side to side, maybe let your forearms come down. Maybe walk your hands over to one side of the mat and then over to the other. You are welcome to do so. If you'd also prefer to just let your forearms come down, forehead down, or glide your arms alongside your shins, you can do that as well. Maybe you're ready to rest. So I'm all about tuning in, making your practice your own. We are our most intuitive teacher. So always listen to what your body's telling you, okay? So take another moment or two to feel things out for yourself. See what it is that you need from this position in this moment. And then we're going to come forward into a long tabletop position here. So I like my hands a little further forward than usual. You can also have your hands up on blocks or be up on fists to create a little more space. So I'm going to bring my right knee outside as high as I can to my right elbow and thread my foot over the top of my left thigh. If you have trouble, you can always kind of pull it up and pull it over. If this isn't working for you today, don't sweat it. You can come more into a pigeon pose or an S seat, okay, letting your hips come down and having angles in both of your legs. But if you can, we're going to try this out today. So kickstand on your right foot. I like to pull my right knee in towards my elbow and then sit my hips back. You might even bring your hands over to the left side of your mat, and then you can play with this. You can wiggle side to side. You can play with the position of your head, shifting your gaze over or under either your right or your left elbow. You can bend through your forearms. See what works for you, but be mindful of your knee, be mindful of your ankle. We're trying to stretch the outer hip on the right side more than anything else. You may feel it elsewhere, and that's okay. Let's bring our arms back out in front, unthread that leg, and we're going to do the same thing with the left. So make sure that you've got enough room. Hike that knee up, use some assistance if you need to, and thread it over, kickstand on that foot. Send your hips back. I like to pull this knee forward. You can even use your hand. See if that makes a difference. Maybe walk your hands over to the right. You can wag your tail around. You can shift your gaze around. You can play with how much weight you have in the ball of that foot. You can do pretty much whatever you can think of. Okay? And of course, you're welcome to take a pigeon or come into more of an S seat if it doesn't work for you or if that's more comfortable in your body. And then let's come back through center, unthread. Nice. You're going to come into a frog pose from here. So frog can be intense for some of us. We're going to spread our knees about as wide as our mat. You can keep your heels in if you'd like, and then come down on your forearms. This might be enough for some of us. For others, we want to bring our heels or our ankles in line with our knees. So I kind of have this 90-degree ankle. Maybe you can spread your knees a little further away from one another. Okay. If you want to flex through your feet, you can. And maybe you're comfortable letting your elbows come out and letting your head come to the back of your hands. Maybe you want to play with the position of your pelvis. You can tuck your tailbone under. You can lift your tailbone up. It's going to change what this stretch does for your body. Maybe you wiggle side to side. Maybe you only do one leg. It's another option. I don't feel much in that position, but you might. So, and you can also shift forward and back. Shifting back is going to intensify this. Coming forward is going to back it off a little bit. And as you spend time here, you might find those adductors or muscles that run along the inner parts of our thighs open up a little bit. And you might be able to come a little bit deeper, find a little more comfort in the discomfort, a little more ease. Just feel it out. See what happens. And then there's a few ways you can come out of this one. So I like to just bring my heels in and walk my hands back, pressing down and then gliding my knees in so that I come out through a kneeling position. If you prefer, you can bring your heels in and then glide forward and put the weight on your forearms and then kind of bring those knees in so you come out through a Sphinx pose. Or if you have another idea of how to get out, go ahead and do that. But we're going to finish up our practice right here. So you might be belly down, prone. You might be in that kneeling position. If you want to take a final resting pose of your choice, again, you're more than welcome to do so. But as for us, we're going to close out our practice right now. So thank you so much for being here with me. If you have any questions, any feedback, I'd love to hear from you. I'm here to support your practice. So feel free to leave me a comment below or connect with me on social media. On Instagram, my handle's @stm_yoga. And you can find some more flows, some ideas, some conversations, musings, a whole lot of stuff over there. But until then, have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time.